Hello, fabulous Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the year of 2016, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here, and a very big happy new year to everyone out there. This year, we have some interesting conversations taking place in the sky, and in many ways are meant to reset your values and help you to get a clearer picture of what it is that is worth aiming for, and have it be rooted in self. And this is about ultimately, in some way, spiritualizing the way that you make money, yes, but also feeling like what it is that you're really meant to do, right? Like to have that visionary, futuristic part of you fully established and fully nourished. If you think back to what was taking place for you in 2012, late 2012, we had Saturn enter the very top of your sky. Slowly but surely, Saturn moved through this very top of the sky, left at the beginning of 2015, or rather in the last days of 2014, and went back in there for the summer of 2015, but other than that, moved into a different part of your sky. So it is this very same part of the sky, these both parts of your sky, that is going to be activated this year, particularly in the first part of the year, and particularly in very important ways. So one of the ways this activation is going to happen is thanks to Mars. So really right out of the gate, in the month of January, so as soon as the month of January starts, a couple days in, Mars moves into this very same part of the sky, the very top of your sky. This is what we call, ultimately, if you're a student of astrology, this is having a planet on an angle, okay? So this is like one of the more important points, a hot point in a chart. There are four in particular that all speak to core parts of you, that speak to not only where it is that they are sitting or where it is that they are moving through these planets, but they have a way of reaching into many areas of life, making them that much more consequential movements and times of life. Right out of the gate, you are going to have Mars move into this part of the sky, and this is going to bring with it a determination to achieve something, to reach a goal. And I do think for a few of you out there, might even bring a sense of single-mindedness, if you will, and commitment to a certain accomplishment that you desire to experience. That's all well and good. But it's one thing to have achievement, it's one thing to have ambition and see it through. That's a wonderful part of being a human being. But at the same time, for an Aquarian, it has to be in some way aligned with what is true for you. Something that you consider an authentic, genuine expression of yourself. It's very difficult for an Aquarian, and I actually think this is true for all the fixed signs out there. Again, if you're a student of astrology, Aquarius is a fixed sign, right? There's one fixed sign per element out there. So your fixed signs are Scorpio. So these are the hot points. All the fixed signs are hot points in the sky. Scorpio, Taurus, your sign Aquarius, and Leo are fixed signs. And I do think that these signs in particular, it's very difficult to in any way be in a position where you feel like you're selling out, where you feel like you're compromising something essential within you. You have to have a sense of feeling that you are doing something that is genuinely rewarding, and you are doing something that in some way contributes to a larger vision. Now that vision, that hope, that dream, it could be something, like for humanity in a bigger way. It could be something more personal in terms of your own goals and your own desires for your life, and even more personal, your desires for your family, your desires for financial security. But it isn't just about the money, of course, especially for an Aquarian. It isn't just about the money. It is about aligning yourself with something that brings a sense of reward, intrinsic reward, and money, knowing that the prosperity will be there, the prosperity will find you, that what you need will find you. So we have Mars activating this part of the sky, and really Mars is going to move through the very top of your sky, dip into and move through the early part of the pathway that Saturn has been walking since the start of 2015. So in many ways, what starts taking place almost right out of the gate is Mars activating a pathway that he had been traveling from late 2012 all the way up until the end of 2015. Slowly but surely activating this path, emphasizing the later part of this path, emphasizing 2014, 2015. So ultimately what this comes down to is have a vision, make a plan, go for it. That's great. This can be a time of big successes, of big rewards as well. Again, right out of the gate. But what does it mean? Why does it matter? That is the most important piece. That is the piece that is fully being explored now as Saturn moves through another important part of your sky right until the end of 2017. And as Mars moves back and forth between achievement and vision, accomplishment and a sense of significance, a sense of contributing to a future that matters to you. As Mars does this, these very parts of you are going to be empowered, are going to be awakened, are going to give you energy to move forward. It's almost as if I see an athletic spirit, if you will, awakening in terms of what it is that you desire to do. What we also have happening this year, it's always an active sky. What we also have happening right around the start of the year, Mercury is going to go retrograde, and Mercury will retrograde pretty much in Earth signs all year, in the Earth signs at different points in the year. But what's interesting about this particular retrograde that happens very early in the month and throughout January, for much of January, is that it actually starts out in your sign, like at the very beginning of your sign. So if you were born like right around the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th of January, you are going to be feeling a shift, a change, a deeper understanding that something even deeper needs to be understood. That is going to be happening for you in the first week of January, so right out of the gate. So I find this really fascinating that Mercury just steps into your sign and then goes back into the sign just before yours. And the sign just before yours represents a part of your sky that is essentially quiet. It's a quiet part. It's a low-key part. It has to do with the unconscious. It has to do with the stuff that, maybe just comes up in your dreams. That's where you see it. It has to do with imagination. It has to do with acceptance of what it is that isn't working, what it is that is, getting honest with yourself in a very deep way, acknowledging your fears, all of this. To me, this says that you are being prepared to be stronger. You are being prepared to really break out in ways and to really do things in ways that you haven't before, to be more brave where it comes to matters of career, matters of goals, matters of vision, and translating career into greater financial reward for you. So you're about to bring a spirit of bravery there, but first, and especially in the month of January, you likely will have to address some insecurities that will be coming up. So pay attention to your dreams and love yourself throughout this process. It's possibly the most important thing that you can do for yourself. As we move towards the later part of the year, Jupiter will move into the sign of Libra, and this is so encouraging to me. Jupiter moving into the sign of Libra is fellow air sign. And Jupiter moving into this part of the sky is about you understanding what needs to be put into place for really big breakthroughs to come, and they are certainly coming. So it is going to be late in the year, the last 3 months, really. It's going to be at the equinox, right around the fall equinox, when Jupiter moves into the sign of Libra, right around there, give or take a few days. And this is going to represent a slow but enthusiastic building of energy that ultimately is going to lead in 2017, even before, just before 2017 begins, for some huge breakthroughs that are set to happen for you. So in many ways, I've been saying to a lot of the signs, in many ways this year sets the stage for some really big developments set to happen as we end 2016 and into 2017. A lot of that is going to be because of Jupiter, fellow air sign, in a part of the sky, again, that's about really understanding the vision and then just achieving it. That will come a year later. That will come in 2017. But what we also have happening at the very end of 2016 is the first of a series of conversations, the beginning of a dance between Saturn, your ancient ruling planet, and Uranus, your modern ruling planet. So when you have moments this year that make you question yourself, make you question your self-worth, know that the ease, the lightness, the breakthroughs, and the rewards, in some cases big rewards, are set to come. The changes where you really feel like it paid off and it was all worth it is set to come by the time we are finishing the year. Trust the process. In the early part of the year, yes, you've got your ancient ruling planet also speaking with Neptune and financial part of your sky. This does suggest that you will have to heal and face any kind of insecurities or issues around money. You're going to have to learn how to embrace greater prosperity, to do the healing, to forgive whatever part of you didn't think that you were worthy of it before. All of that is going to be coming to the surface now. And so really being diligent about addressing your fears around financial prosperity is something that you are going to have to look at in the first part of the year. But if you do that work, like I said, it's part of the work to do. You do that work, the big rewards will come. In the context of love, I do think that having Jupiter in fellow air sign is going to be overall really good for you. This is a tremendously harmonious position. It represents hope and possibility and knowing that you're moving towards something even more exciting, and that certainly can include matters of heart as well. As I look at this particular conversation, as I look at this particular movement, that Jupiter is going to speak to your modern ruling planet and also to your ancient ruling planet as well. It's going to sort of kick off and be part of that conversation that is set to excel towards the end of the year and into next. And what that tells me is that love will find its flow. Love will come together easily, quickly. Your work is to focus on yourself and trust that there's love in the world for you. It will arrive. It will show up for you, undoubtedly so. With these different Mercury retrogrades taking place throughout the year, they are also going to speak to love for you. And mainly how they're going to speak is, you know, it's one thing to say love, it's one thing to believe in it, it's one thing to have it as a concept, which is something that the air signs, all the air signs in their own way will be looking at this. It's one thing to look at love or success or work as a concept, or feelings or emotions or intuitions as a concept. It's another thing to live it. It's another thing to be it right down to your bones. And that's what the sky is going to ask you. It's going to ask you that if you want to experience greater love, whether it is within an established bond or being open to someone new, it has to look a certain way. It has to be a certain way. And I don't mean that in a superficial way. What I mean is, again, the fixed signs. I think respect is really important to the fixed signs. Feeling like they are with someone who respects them. So that is part of the process. That is something tangible. That is something you can see. That is something you can feel. So again, it's one thing to say, you know, love is so important, love matters, all that stuff. It's another thing to take action in support of that. It's one thing to say, I love myself. It's another thing to actually do those things, those little rituals every day that affirm a sense of self-love on a consistent, regular basis in tiny moments throughout the day, each and every day. What I love about this year is that you know you're onto something big, and you truly are. And you know that a lot of what is to come starts within. As you do that work within, as you also take action, be brave, be out there, you are going to find yourself entering a zone. And I think this is a zone that you're going to like very much, where you find this easy connection between what you're achieving and what really matters to you. Where it is that you feel essentially at home is also going to be where it is that you shine the brightest and achieve the most. And along the way, you're also going to learn a whole lot about the many facets of love, starting with you, starting within, and speaking to every area of life.
Bu akşam seminerimizi canlı olarak mobil uygulamamız üzerinden yapıyoruz.